Start the freaking stream. Welcome into CTO Live. I'm JL Garofalo, joined by my best friend, fellow builder, fellow product guy, Carrington Dennis. How you doing today, Carrington?
Good, guys. I'm doing well. How are you, JL?
Oh my God, I'm so excited right now.
I know, right? Let's get it, bro.
I love starting a stream because I just have to summon this like a crazy amount of energy and it just gets me going.
Save a little bit for me, you know?
All right, I'll save you a little bit. All right, this week, this is a new show we're starting. We've tried stuff like this before.
Yep.
But if you're tuning in and you're aware of the Creator CTO channel, we're starting this new show, weekly show, Wednesdays at 10:30 a.m., where Carrington and I start and we talk about AI, we talk about the news, talk about what we're building, we run some experiments, we have some fun. It's a lot of the same, like if you follow Simon and my work over at Front Yard Fantasy, it's going to be that, but in the tech theme. It's kind of a way to look at it. Carrington is a fellow builder. He's building his own products, launching his own products, just as I am. And so this show is an opportunity for us to get together, talk about the latest that's going on in the tech world, and talk through our thought process as we're building these products. And we're also here to answer any questions if you got them. If you're building a product, you're building a website for your brand, and you got tech questions that the bot can't answer for some reason. That's why Carrington out here.
That's what we're born for. We made for.
That's what we do. Carrington, I want to start out. So we'll start out this week. We got AI news. Actually, I want to start out talking about what we're building this week. Like what specifically we are working with Claude to build out in our own workflow, in our own ecosystem, whatever it is that, in our own life. What are we building right now? I'll go ahead and start off because I'm finally getting into the generating YouTube thumbnails, making a skill that generates YouTube thumbnails for me. And I'm plugging it into this plugin or putting it as part of this plugin I've been building, which it does handle a lot of different parts of the content production process, the YouTube process and stuff. And I've just been kind of staying away from it because of the vision model stuff, the generating images. It feels like I had to wait until I could spend enough time to get good quality output from the models to actually create a YouTube thumbnail I would use. And so I've been going through that with it today. It's still at the point where it's like not quite getting me professional grade thumbnails.
Yeah.
Carrington, have you messed with any of like the image use cases yet?
I have. Currently building a 2D, you could say 3D isometric video game right now for PC.
Ooh, yeah. This is the one you were showing me the other day, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You have it up?
Let's see. I can have it up.
Keep talking about it.
Yeah, essentially, I have a pipeline that looks at some of the story and characters, and I have a cultural audit skill. So basically, goes back into 80s and 90s Baltimore, all the things that were happening government-wise, urban blight-wise, and it basically it audits any art that's generated. So I'll generate art and it'll basically say, hey, how accurate is this based on things that existed? Yeah, exactly.
It's a game. Okay.
Yeah. So it kind of grounds it in that truth. And it's all through Claude right now. Actually, no, I'm lying. I built an API to wrap around Comfy UI. I think I showed you that last time.
Yeah.
So Comfy UI allows you to kind of take down a whole bunch of different models, different diffusion models, LoRa models, and it basically allows you to set up different nodes and generate, images. I think they also have like video and audio as well, but I'm using it primarily for images. So what I'm doing basically is using Comfy UI as like the no pun intended, the UI for managing all my different art assets for the game. And then I have this small, thin API layer that connects Claude to that. So it's kind of like an MCP in a way.
And so Comfy UI is like the interface in which you're interacting with to...
Exactly.
Okay.
And it also holds the different models, the different config files, the different outputs, inputs. So it's basically aware of all the different parameters you could put in for, like, say, stable diffusion or flux, and then it has a whole bunch of different configurations beyond that. Not to get too technical, but it's pretty cool. So it's like a whole pipeline I'm still wrapping my head around it. I'm not an expert, but I like the results so far.
And so you're using this Comfy UI to generate images for the game.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay. And then those image assets get used by the game to render the game.
Yes. Well, it gets used by Godot, which is a game engine.
Okay.
And inside of Godot, it'll basically set up different scenes, different nodes, and the scripting happens. All the scripting happens on my server, and it's basically Godot serving as like a dummy client, and it's basically say, hey, this is the visual presentation, everything. Now talk to the server to say when the player, hits WASD, he's moving around the world. So it kind of works that way in a way.
Interesting. So other people want I haven't gotten deep into much game development with AI yet, but I imagine that this makes life really easy for a lot of game developers out there. I've grown up here in Unreal Engine, all these different like C++ frameworks and stuff that you can make games from. I imagine the AI stuff makes that so much easier, right? The creating objects, models, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think so. I think if you have more of a big picture, like if you're technical, you have a big picture idea, like big picture type of person, it makes it a lot easier to kind of generate a whole bunch of different things and basically, select what best matches your vision, right? So for me, I might create like 5 different characters, and I don't know how I want them to necessarily look, but AI kind of helps me get to that first version. I'm like, I like that, but I don't like this. Or I might have an idea in my mind of something I saw in a photo or something I saw, on TV of like a cool character, and kind of want to embody that. So I'll explain it and describe it. And then I want AI to kind of help me workshop it. So I think in that way, it helps, solidify the story, solidify the look and feel, the aesthetics, and helps you focus on gameplay a lot quicker, right? Like getting
Right.
to the fun of things. Uh, so yeah, I think it's amazing. It's an amazing like value add for sure.
That's pretty sweet. And this Comfy UI, you recommend this? What is this? Like what part? What what does this do? Why do I need this?
It does a lot of things, but I use it primarily to generate images. So you could essentially say, "Hey, ChatGPT, give me an image of Super Mario, wearing, I don't know,
A dress.
a dress," and it'll generate
Peach's dress specifically. Let's have Super Mario wear all Peach and Daisy's dresses.
that. Right. And then like you could do that, and then it'll do it for you, right? Pretty good. But if you want to have more nuanced control over the style, the inputs, the prompting, it allows you to prompt engineer. And when you connect it with Claude, you have a lot more context. So the prompting isn't just you saying what's in the photo and what's not in the photo, but it's like, oh, taking all this other context of the world you're trying to build, the style you're trying to create.
Right.
Um, and it just keeps it a lot more focused on the outputs. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. It seems like a user interface that's really designed to help you with the image generation part of the process, which anybody who's worked with image generation and AI knows it's a little bit more involved than these other use cases, like working with Claude Code just to build an app or something, or mess with your document. It's like all these
Absolutely.
different parameters you got to put in there. So this is pretty sweet. I haven't messed with Comfy UI. I've just seen it after you showed it to me, and I'm definitely going to add it to my list of things I got to check out here. Bonk. So yeah, I'm messing with this YouTube thumbnail generator, and like I was gonna bring up. I think I have it here somewhere. The images that are coming up with are kind of basic. Uh, and so right now I'm working on trying to get it to be more complex or more professional looking images that it's creating, or thumbnails for this for any of these YouTube videos or live replays. But it's been cool to have it just like I would have never been able to do this stuff before. It would have taken too much time to
Yeah.
sit here and mess with this stuff. So it's kind of cool to mess with it and get it generating these thumbnails. If once I get to a point where this is replacing the thumbnail generation part of the process, that's a huge time sink. It's a
Yeah.
huge time sink. It takes a ton of time every week to come up with to generate these thumbnails. Even if you have template systems, stuff like that, it gets easier. But
So I'm sure you've seen other creators utilizing AI to create that thumbnails. How would you judge their judgment And like, do you like the quality of what they're producing as well? Like, are you trying to, is that your baseline, or are you trying to make it more fit into your style, your theme, and what you're going for? If
Yeah,
that
I mean,
makes sense.
it's definitely YouTube thumbnails themselves are they're a game in and of itself. So there's like when you're designing one, there's other things you're considering when you're making the decisions on the designs that you wouldn't necessarily consider if you were designing for something outside of YouTube. It's kind of got its own game associated
Right.
with it. So you have to play that game, but while still making it your style, recognizable within your brand, that sort of thing. But it's got to be something that pops out amongst the other videos that show up in the feed. And admittedly, I haven't seen a ton. I've dug into a few different creators who have made videos about generating thumbnails to see how they're doing it and like the process and that sort of thing. But most of the time, it's pretty straightforward and basic. Making thumbnails is you're kind of composing these different layers of stuff, right? You got a background, foreground elements, and uh, and so it seems like the bot's really good at that. It's just like the actual drawing of it so far has not been great.
Can you identify a thumbnail that was created with AI pretty quickly?
No, probably if it was created poorly with AI. If it was created well with AI, then
What does creating it poorly look like?
um, I think it looks like a poorly photoshopped poorly photoshopped image. It's usually done poorly in the same ways every time. In that, like it's really nice and polished, except for certain parts or certain details are not quite right. It's missing
Yeah,
some piece, or it doesn't quite create it fully cohesively, or it goes overboard and makes it too. It adds too much opinion into it. And
yeah,
this is where you showed me that comfy UI. And it looked, if I remember correctly, you're saying the comfy UI, like the main benefit is you can give it like a seed of like, this is what I'm looking for it to look like. Do you
yeah,
have it up on your computer? Could you share it?
yeah, sure,
What it looks like, or like that little node interface you showed me the other day?
for sure. Oops.
We got Simon in the chat. Said, "Oh, this is sweet." What up, Simon?
What's good, Simon? Where you been at, buddy?
He's been streaming with me this morning.
But he doesn't want to stream with me. I see how it is.
I know, man. He specifically said that. He's like, "Oh, Carrington's coming on. Never mind. Maybe I'll come in there. We'll see." I got Simon using some Claude code.
Oh wow.
Got him chatting with the bots now. It's great. We're all, dude. I'm getting. It's weird, talking to the bots so much throughout the day.
Yeah.
Thinking about it last night. I'm like, this is like impacting the way I think sometimes. It's like I'm only talking to this bot most of the time.
Man. I know.
It's like my only friend. And you know how like, your friends impact like how you talk and how you like your accent, the words you say and stuff. I'm like, dude, am I starting to talk like Claude? I gotta be careful. I can't start slipping and start just being a Claude meat puppet.
Yeah, it's getting bad for me too, bro. But yeah.
Let me add this up. Oh, this is sick. Okay, so walk us through what we're looking at here.
It's a whole bunch of magic that I'm learning how to understand myself. But anyway, basically it's taking an example image.
Okay.
I already downloaded the model, which is like a Z image turbo is the base model.
Okay.
And then the LoRa, the lower order ranking, is basically like a guide on how the model should generate. And so the model is like bare bones, right? Like
Yeah.
it's efficient, it's pretty general, it's good at a lot of different things. And that's the Z turbo model. And then the Z image turbo. And then the lower model that I'm using is what is it called? It is called, where are you?
So these are different models. You download these from like Hugging Face or like a marketplace like that?
Yeah, I downloaded from Civet AI.
Okay.
Pretty cool. There's the
So,
fusion.
yeah, if you're unfamiliar with this, you can download open source models, just like that ChatGPT uses a different model, Claude uses different models. You can download open source ones and run them locally, which is what Carrington's doing here. Gwen, I see.
Yeah, Gwen 3.5, and then it's taking in the example image. It's doing a little bit encoding, decoding. Here's the actual prompting, how it should look. And once it goes through some sampling rounds, and
Did
then
Claude set all this up? All these like lanes going into other things and the parameters and
no,
stuff?
no, I had to set it up.
You set that up,
Um,
okay.
yeah, I looked it up on YouTube essentially how to set it up. But as it goes through all this clipping and sampling, it'll eventually come out with an example image, right? I don't think any are loaded here because oh, okay, these might be old ones. Okay, so these are ones that I generated before.
Yeah.
These are all essentially um icons in the game.
Yeah.
So, like, it's like your cash icon, but it's in different styles. So I have like a whole style sheet, and I'm generating each of them like separately.
Okay.
I can show you that in a bit, but this is some of the different renderings. And you can see there's a close resemblance between this style and what's generated with this
Right.
one.
Are
So
they all based off of that one like noir red hair lady theme?
no, so I have three different styles: the noir, black noir, or noir ink, I think it's called. That's
Hmm.
one style. And then I have a like this vibrant style as well. Then I have like this more sodium style.
Okay. So for me, for thumbnails, if I wanted to use Comfy UI, which I think I do have Claude working Comfy UI into this process, thanks to you
Yeah.
putting me onto this. Uh, what I was imagining is I could put something like a thumbnail template, right, or a previous thumbnail or thumbnail examples into where redheaded lady noir is chilling, and then have the Claude skill that sets up a video or sets up a live stream, have that hit this thing to generate the actual artifact, the thumbnail artifact, in a way that isn't inconsistent every time. That is consistent with the brand, consistent with what I'm expecting, as opposed to like Claude trying to fill it in every time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's the idea. I'm not sure how many input images you can have. I think you would if you, let's say you had a sample of 20 different thumbnails, you could train on those, like create like checkpoints on those, like a lower model for that. And
Yeah.
then you would use that going forward. So it might incorporate the colors, um, some of the identity behind your brand. So the typography and so on and so forth. But then you would want to, I guess you would probably want to only focus on the image. So get rid of the text,
Okay.
and maybe you have multiple layers. So you have, like you said, the background, foreground, uh, different
Elements
components.
in the foreground. Yeah.
Exactly. And then you would basically add the typography last, and you would tell Claude to add that, right? Like you don't have to do it yourself, but you would
Right.
basically set it up in a layering system, generate the image, then put the text or typography on there.
Well, yeah, layer it on top of it, and then yeah, that makes sense. That's kind of how I'm doing it. It's or having Claude do it. It really is that. That's how I'm having Claude do it. It's like just piece by piece, add it together, and then from there, we could debug it. But this is pretty cool. I like the Comfy UI. I'm gonna mess with this, see if I can get it working for that style. I might find I might not need it. Maybe I can just do some of this without,
Exactly.
yeah, without Comfy UI or without the local model. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get Claude to kind of get like not lock me into decisions. Sometimes it feels like it's like, oh, let's set up this Claude API. I'm like, bro, you're biased. Come on, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah. Oh, let me show you the style sheet actually.
Yeah. Or yeah, Simon says, miss you, man. Where's the invite? Up your butt, Simon.
Okay, cool. So as I was saying before, these are so Claude basically took all those images and just organized them to
Are you
say like,
showing us
okay,
something, or we're still looking at Comfy UI?
oh, sorry.
Very good.
Cool. So Comfy UI generated the images, and then Claude essentially takes those and organizes them based on the theme. And I just named these different ones based on how, you know, it mapped back to like a color palette, a
Yeah.
mood, and I can toggle these different themes in the game. So if I want to say, all right, change all the icons to screen print, I can see how that looks. All right, change all
Ooh.
the icons to sodium. So instead of me like you were saying, being pigeonholed or pegged to like one look and style and feel, I can
Right.
change the look of the game, you know, based on like how I
Toggle.
yeah. Which could actually, you know, be kind of cool if you have like this transition of um different modes in the game. So maybe there's like
Yeah.
a berserker mode in the game, or
Yeah.
maybe there's like night and day in the game. You can
Themes,
kinda
yeah, like cartoon mode where everybody's more cartoony than usual.
exactly, exactly,
Imagine like Grand Theft Auto, but in Adventure Time animation.
exactly. So that was the idea. Some of these are pretty cool. Um, but yeah, it's
Oh, this is
kind of
sick. So you're using this to kind of ideate on different ideas within the game, what the style of the game could be.
yeah. Mhm.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like that. Do you have the game pulled up?
Let me check.
No
Um,
worries if not. Um, it looks pretty sweet. The visual stuff feels like there's definitely more room to there's so much more room to grow. There's so much more opportunity. It feels like I've only really scratched the surface on some of that visual stuff.
Absolutely.
While you're doing
And
that, I'll show.
it's kinda, I don't advise getting there quickly, especially when you're building a game, because you can get caught up in those details and
Yeah, a lot
making
of
it look
tweaking.
good. I know a lot to it. It just takes so much time tweaking, and it's better you focus on like the actual game mechanics.
Yeah,
So I'm actually breaking that rule right now, but I just couldn't help it. But
good. Yeah, good to recognize it.
yeah. Okay, cool. Let me bring this up.
Yeah. Yeah, buddy.
Cool. Can you see that?
Woo. Yeah, we can.
Okay, cool. All right. So
So
this is
this is
where
the
I
game
left
that
off.
this is the game you're building. We were just looking at the comfy UI, which you're using to kind of mess with the styles, play around with different styles for assets for the game.
Yep.
Okay.
So the game is premised on late 70s to like, let's say, early 2000s.
Baltimore.
Baltimore
Yeah.
City, where I'm from. And it's basically about urban blight meets drug organizations meets like political corruption. If it sounds familiar, that's because it is. And, if you're familiar with the show The Wire, it's pretty much
Yeah.
what The Wire was kind of all about, was like this balance of urban decay and a failing education system, and then this whole drug organization underworld kind of underpinning a lot of the community decay and a lot of decisions about how a city should be managed and run. Um,
So this is The Wire, the video game.
exactly.
Is what I'm hearing.
Exactly. But
I would
I'm
play
going.
it. I would play it 100%. I would play that.
It is an RTS, letting people know, on real time strategy. So
Mhm.
it's not like a first person shooter or what people are probably used to from
Ah,
a third person playing
right.
game. So you have to be into like strategy games, and you're working as a young person caught up in um, a good community at first, but eventually you're starting to see drugs come into your community, affecting your family, your friends. You have decisions to make around it, right? Do you want
Yeah.
to stay away from it? Do you want to embrace it full force? Do you want to kind of toe the line and do things to survive? So it's kind of like a survival RTS um, game. And again, it starts in the 70s. So the end of the 70s. So you kind of see how things were and how Baltimore changes over time.
That is pretty
Um,
sweet.
yeah, that's the premise.
I really like that. Are you working with Claude to help you with the game mechanics, or are you mainly dictating that?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's a little bit of both. I say the game mechanics um is interesting because I have an idea of like how I want the story to be told and how I want the character to interact with the world, but I'm not the best at like different algorithms, right? So let's say they have like a flocking algorithm for pedestrians, right? Like when something happens, they flock in a certain way. So they might, you know, say police come and, a crime, a murder happens, a robbery happens, people can either run towards the action or run away from it. Like I'm not good with those nuanced algorithms. I've studied them in college.
Yeah.
Uh, so it's kind of like in college, I know I'm kind of bouncing all over the place, but in college you had um, the game version of AI, and then you had like the academic version of AI back then. Now AI is kind of more synonymous with the academic version, but you
Right.
know, before then, the game version of AI, which was more like
And
agents,
and what are they called? And NPCs.
NPCs, exactly,
Yeah.
non-playable characters. Um, those algorithms, I'm having Claude like help me figure out the specifics on making something look believable. People crossing the street, waiting for traffic, not crossing the street, not jaywalking, but it looking believable because jaywalking is very popular in Baltimore. So it's like all these
We love
nuanced
it.
things of like how a pedestrian or how a police officer or a government official or criminal, how all these different people would operate in the city, like figuring out the nuances of that. Um, I'm having Claude help me a lot with that from a game
As
kind of.
That's interesting. I'm curious if you lean more into that because I'm having a similar experience, but I'm finding myself on the other end of it in the sense of let me pull it up, make more sense of what I'm saying. Right now, I'm working on this rankings tool for Front Yard Fantasy. I think I've shown you this. It's called Frank, and it's a way to make your rankings, a way to get your opinion about players, which players you think are going to be better than others, uh, and put that into an order where you can then share that with your audience, share that with your friends, whatever that may be, draft from it in fantasy football. And the reason I'm bringing this up is that this week, the other thing I've been working on is an accuracy contest for this. So I'm going to introduce I'm going to call it the Frank Open. And it's a content accuracy contest that people can join, submit their rankings, and then we'll have a leaderboard throughout the season that you can follow. And whoever at the end of the season has the best opinions, the highest accuracy will win and will win the big kahuna. And and so the reason I bring this up is that I've been working with Claude to design the scoring mechanics of this contest. There's a lot of math to it. Like how do you score players? There's all this nuance to this, not just looking at where the players end up as a whole, because some players, they can get all their points in like a few weeks and then they're not that useful to you. And so, and there's like a bunch of ways to game it. So I've been working with Claude to figure out what sort of math I can use to build a contest that I want to create. And so I'm using the vision to guide the math building, using Claude to help figure out which is the right math to apply, and then using what I learned in school to be like, okay, let me try to understand what this math is. Is this the right math? Cool, that's the right math. Let's get it in there.
So that's cool. I'm curious when you're thinking about time to value, right? Because I think this may take a little bit of preloading from someone just starting and onboarding into your platform here. Like when you're thinking about time to value, are you having a lot of presets on how people can kind of get started right away, or what does the onboarding process look like?
Yeah, there's a tutorial that throws you right into the mix, gets you drafting. But drafting, creating your rankings can be time intensive and tedious. There's you're sorting a certain number of players and trying to put them in an order, and so the contest is a way to increase is to make that onboarding easier because it's a fun game that they get to play in. They're coming in using the rankings to create their submission, and they're seeing the value of it. So that to me that intentionally shortens the time to value. Whereas before, if I didn't have the contest, I'd be going around trying to convince people that this is going to make their rankings process easier. The only issue is that not everybody has a rankings process right now because it's so painful. A lot of them haven't even done it.
Yeah. Would it help them to see example templates on rankings and then, saying, hey, like if you're overly optimistic on, I don't know, running backs. I don't know how this works, but if you're overly optimistic about wide receivers, running backs,
Yeah.
like this is a good ranking to start with, and you can kind of massage it and customize it from there.
Yeah, I've been making it so the contest itself, and I worked through this with Claude, is the contest itself is built around this concept of replacement value. So like every player has like a certain value that they have based off their previous season stats, and everybody's going to start with the same starting point for the
Yeah.
contest, not for the rankings, but for that's been a complaint about the most similar competitor product to this is a tool called Fantasy Pros Experts Ranking Platform, where they only let experts go in there and do a similar type of thing, publish their rankings and stuff, and then they create consensus rankings around it. But it gets biased because they end up starting from consensus and hugging consensus so that they score better in the game. This contest is designed to be more fun, like more of a game, like
Yeah.
less of a just a way to say I'm the most accurate, more of like, no, I actually want to win this.
Yeah.
I want to win this thing. I want to win this Frank.
uh, is your rankings, will they be real time? Like, is it measuring up to like real data, live data as it's happening week by week?
Yes. It'll update in real time. I'm going to have an in-season leaderboard that will then bring up on our content. Simon and I do daily live streams. And so on
Nice.
that, once a week, we'll bring it up, talk about the board, and
Nice.
also it creates this sort of like it's like a proof of record for people in this space, right? Like this is what you thought. This is what you set it in stone right here in this contest. Nobody can take that away from you.
And if you're wrong, you can't hide from being wrong.
Can't hide. Yeah. So I guess there's two sides of that.
Two sides of that, yeah.
Two sides of that for sure. But designing that experience has been fun. I've been working with the bots to help guide, combined with my intuition to figure out, all right, what's the right feeling for this type of thing. And I'm curious. I feel like probably a lot of people aren't doing it for that. Maybe that's just the product person in me. But it sounds like that could help you with the math thing. Like, ask it, even if you don't know the math, ask it, just tell it to fill in the math and just tell it what you want. I want people running away from the police, like mathematically model that. Block algorithm, like just comma keywords. Block algorithm, make it happen, Claude.
AI agent something, yeah.
Yes, it's like I love using it for that. Like my subordinate, please just here's a bunch of garbage that's in my head, make sense of it. Please.
Speaking of product, you being a product person, you had a hot take earlier. You want to get into that?
Yeah. So we're gonna break this up into a few different segments that will rotate through week over week, and we'll try some different stuff out. But hot takes is one of them, easy one. And Carrington, I want to start off with one hot take that it feels like maybe isn't that original or maybe isn't that distinct, but it feels like a lot of products that people are building right now are going to be relevant in a year or two, maybe less. And mainly I've started to feel this even more strongly as I've gotten deeper and deeper into skills. I did a presentation on AI skills and using that mechanic. And the more I'm digging in and using these skills, I'm like, it's hard to make the case that like a lot of these tasks and stuff or use cases that products are fulfilling now can't just be broken down into composable skills and passed to a bot.
What does that mean?
I don't know, what's a popular product out there now that's been recent. I don't know, like Airbnb, no, that's a bad example. I'm trying to think, like, I don't know, so the rankings tool is like an opposite of that. Like rankings tool could fall into this, and I'm trying to avoid it. Because I'm building a product, right? I'm building products. So if I'm saying that a lot of these products are going to be irrelevant in a few years, I think it's that we're on the way to a new interface. We're on a way to new way to do some of these tasks. And the way that we've been approaching it is we're building web apps, mobile apps that look like what the solution was before. We're just building it faster. And what I'm saying is the more I mess with skills, like I have a skill that launches a video editor in my browser. It's not a video editor app. And I don't want to go learn any more video editor apps because I'm like, why am I going to go spend a bunch of time to learn this app that I might not use in 6 months?
Yeah.
And so that's got me thinking, like, platform wise, what's stopping what's stopping, like, where, I guess it all comes back to that moat question, but like, how do you design a product in a way that gets you like gives you some sort of leverage that won't be whittled away by these AI providers?
Yeah, I'm a give you the unfiltered version of what JL said earlier. He basically said product people aren't going to exist a year from
What? Product
now.
people are only going to exist. Everyone's going to be a product person.
Which means no one's a product person. No,
Which means no.
no, I agree. The skill, I don't know if I don't know even if you can build a video editing application, let's say in an hour or two, and then deploy the web, deploy it and it being functional. Even let's say it takes you 2 days to do that. I don't know if that is an average use case for people using Claude today, though. I
No,
don't
it's
know if that's
probably
an
not.
average
I mean, I'm a
use case for most
builder.
people.
Go ahead.
I don't know if that's an average use case for people who need a video editor, right? Like, so I agree. Like, yeah, you can build it a lot quicker, but who's willing to sit down and churn through millions of tokens to get to that result? Because I saw your tool. It's pretty awesome. It's really awesome. I
Yeah.
would use it, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know if most people outside of us engineers who want to tinker and get the satisfaction of like releasing, deploying, or building something that we want to use. I don't know if most people. I don't know if 10% of people will do that. Like I think it'll be a lot lower than that.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking like the broad population. Sure, I'm not trying to make that point of like, most people are gonna then need to use AI editors or video editors, that sort of thing. It's more so looking at the products people are making today and whether it makes sense to be like hyper specialized or build something that enables people to make products or to actually make the product at the end for the person.
You gotta give me an example. Something that's alive today that will be dead next year.
Mm, okay, like
You think Figma will be here a year
Figma's
from
a yeah, Figma's a great example. No, I don't think Figma. Maybe in a year from now. I mean, they have enough like market share that they'll probably still be around be around in a few years, and that's not taking into account the moves that they could make from now and then. But let's just look at Figma as a product, the board, the design board itself. Like, if I'm going to spend $200 a month to use Figma, or can I take the pieces of it and have Claude do a portion of that? Or can I talk to Claude with my voice or my text and get it to design the same or similar level of quality of things than I was designing myself in Figma? In which case, if Claude or the bot gets so good to the point where I can just say, "Hey, this is what I want. Here's the thumbnail that I want." I just let my Canva subscription,
now.
end.
All right.
And it's the same reason, right? Like, why do I'm not going to keep paying Canva $200 a year when I can have a bot that does a lot of this for me now, you
Yeah.
know? So the value is shifting. Where do you put your chips if you're building a product?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what we need to worry about for sure. Yeah.
That's
I
my
think some big pivots will probably have to happen.
yeah.
I don't know how, no one knows the future. I don't know how Figma or say like even
If you're
Sketch,
Figma, what are you
Photoshop.
gonna do? Like, if you're Figma, you're in charge of making that decision. What are you doing as a result of AI now? Like, what would you do if you were in their position?
If I were Figma, it's a great question. If I were Figma, I would. Yeah, that's a tough one.
Shit.
Because
I would
they can just fall
Figma.
back. I'm thinking they can fall back on the user experience because I don't,
Yeah.
Claude can generate the images and some of the different assets. Navigating that and editing that and iterating on that is kind of cumbersome. So maybe I will
Have you messed
pull
with
back.
Claude Design at all?
Say again.
Have you messed with the feature within
Claude
Claude
design.
called Claude Design?
Yes. I haven't seen an ability to edit it though.
You can talk back and forth. You can't edit it like you can in Figma in terms of like the attributes and stuff like that. But
Exactly.
I imagine that would
And I think that's where the value is, though. Like I think the value is the granular moving pixels around, changing words like really quickly. Like maybe, you know, the sweet spot for a Figma Photoshop is to not focus on the outcome per se.
Mhm.
Like maybe not focusing on the full process, but focusing on how do I put the last 10% finishing touches on this
Yeah.
and charge for that. But that just cannibalizes that value and their revenue, because a lot of the perceived value today is the whole tooling, right? It's the whole
It's a whole
workflow.
ecosystem.
Yeah.
And my argument is, at least you picked a good use case for it that I couldn't think of. But Figma is a really great use case, and Claude Design, it feels like, is a step or two away from taking that piece. That like all they have to do is add in an inspector into Claude Design and a like a canvas interface that lets you modify the elements that Claude is designing and modifying, and then all of a sudden you don't have to pay for Canva or whatever it's thing
I mean,
anymore.
you're trying to. I mean, you're just trying to make, you know, Adobe's stock plummet at this point.
Yeah, I've been trying to do that since college. When
You know,
they
since
didn't
they were
accept
all
me to
filed.
an internship, I was like, down with you, Adobe.
When they flipped to subscriptions, I wasn't a fan after that.
No,
So.
that's why I haven't used them anymore either. And I know they're the kind of gold standard for media production, stuff like that. But I'm glad AI is here that I don't have to be relying on Adobe anymore.
Yeah, that it's a crash waiting to happen, essentially. I had a video. Yeah, I had a video.
What is this video? Just want to pull it up and play it raw.
Yeah. It's a video that our mutual friend Willis sent in a group chat. Me, Sal, and Willis have. What's up, Willis? What's up, Sal?
The biggest critiques.
Whoa. Okay, hold on one second. Let me remove that. Add that.
Big AI valuations right now. I can use Fable on Claude and do a bunch of runs and pretty much exhaust a ton of Claude tokens and pay $200 a month. The actual value of that in terms of the cost to Anthropic to actually run those models, I'm gonna butcher the actual numbers here, but it's something like 40x. Yeah. I'm paying $200 a month. It costs them $8,000 a month to support that. And so they can't subsidize it forever, because the idea is that you subsidize it initially, same way that until you're reliant on it. And now it's like, well, this is how I run my business. I literally don't have another way to do it. And then they can say, okay, well, we're going to increase our prices now. And people like to draw the comparison to Uber, like, you know, but Uber didn't 80x their prices. They 2x'd it, they 3x'd it. So like, what happens when it can't support that? That's why people are saying there's an AI bubble right now, and all these like future valuations of, oh my God, they're gonna make trillions of dollars. It's like, no, they're fucking not. Who the hell is gonna pay? Nobody can afford that except them. It's just like this own little circular snake eating its own tail.
Dude, what was it called? Aurora Boreas, the dragon eating its own tail reference.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
Right?
My initial thoughts on this are that, like, one, that the play is right of what they're doing. I don't know that is it $8,000 for, like, I don't know that correlates. I'd have to dig into where that is coming from. Like, why would it cost them 80x to support this? Are they like including all the costs to train the models from before? Are they like, I'm sure the actual call itself does not cost that much money. The economics does not work out that way, maybe, but I could be wrong about that. I'm also not an economics guy. The bubble itself, I think, really is dependent on how you design the product or business model around, right? And like, the model cost will increase, and your product, if it's using the models in a way where it's like that usage is going to increase with people using it, the cost is going to increase proportional to the number of people using it, then yeah, you have to account for that in your business model, because the prices will fluctuate. It's like you can't build a business, a trucking business, without factoring in gasoline, right? Like, gasoline prices are going to change.
Yeah. I mean, I had a little bit longer to digest this than you. I agree with all the points you made. The ADX sounds a little contrived to me. I haven't done the research, but I do think she's conflating. I think it's the right conversation, but the wrong conclusion and the wrong way to get there.
Yeah.
So the right conversation of us being in the AI bubble, fair, we can have that discussion. Um, her claim of like her spending $200 a month on Claude, and over time they're going to just increase the price on her membership. What she has to understand is that she's an individual, right? And you can have a different strategy for different customer segmentations. So as an individual developer, such as her, such as me, paying $200, maybe our bottom line for Claude is, a loss leader for them, right? But they're really going to make money on the enterprise, right? So even if they keep us at $200 a month, $400 a month, $800 a month, whatever it is, one, that'll always be backed up and justified by us as individuals, right? Like if your business isn't making, 10 grand a month, 5 grand a month, why would you continually pay, 200, 400, 800, 1200? It doesn't make sense. So you'll just stop paying. You just will shut down that business. And from an enterprise standpoint, they're going to make, favorable deals so that as the organization adopts Claude Code and as data is collected and aggregated and used for new products, i.e. design, i.e. science, Claude design, so on and so forth, as they get better trained models, they'll themselves become a better company. They're going to use that data to train their internal tools and their internal models, whatever they're using, right? And then they're also going to provide better services for other people. So I feel like she's kind of missing the bigger picture here, which is like, yeah, we're spending $200 a month, but we're not their customer, right? Like if you were talking about Chat GPT or OpenAI, then yes, the consumer and maybe more power user are their customers, but by and large, Claude is targeting enterprise, right? So I think that's a mistake she makes. That's like number one. Number two is I actually think the Uber model is what Claude is doing, what Anthropic is doing here. Like,
Yeah, it's the same as sports books. In my industry, they do the same thing. It's like high CAC, get people in, increase market share, and then the CAC lowers because the thing gets commoditized. It's like a very common cycle, I think, in these types of industries, or a play, maybe not a cycle, but like it's a strategy.
Absolutely, yeah. I don't think it's an 80x play. I think it's the 2-3x play that she mentioned initially. Like you said, I don't know how you're going from $200 and $8,000 for every $200 spent. Like, and think about it this way: we use Claude, right? And we know that there are session limits. We know there are weekly limits. I'm hard pressed to believe that they set those up arbitrarily. I'm sure they set those up. So, because whether I pay $200 a month or not, they're getting. I mean, whether I use the tokens for the $200 a month,
yeah, it's set up in a great way for them.
Yeah, that's still like 2 months ago, I didn't use Claude Code much at all, so they still got $200 for that, right?
Yep.
And they have a cost per input tokens. They have a cost per output tokens per model. So they have all these different ways of figuring out how much tokens every model is going to use out of what you get allocated per month based on the $200 you're spending. Like to me, it would be very idiotic of them to not account for all those things when they have all the stuff set up to basically limit your usage, extract money out of you, create value for you. Like, I just think her argument is not a good argument for leading to the discussion of being in the AI bubble, essentially.
Yeah, no, it's fair. It's fair. And I think like you said, like the pieces of it, she's making good points, or like the question is a good one to ask.
It is.
I don't know that we're disagreeing with her reasoning leading up to the point. I don't know that I'm saying that I'm like there's an AI bubble. Like I said, I don't know enough about economics to speak on that, but it is interesting to see how people are setting up their products. For me, I use Claude. Like, for instance, I showed you the rankings tool. I showed you Frank. I use Claude to create Frank. I don't have to keep paying Claude. to own Frank. I have Frank. He's there. I can use him. And then I created a job board. An industry job board was another product I made. I have the job board. Right? Claude wrote the code. I paid for it one time, or over the one time. And now that product, it uses AI also to extract job information from these job postings that it's scraping. And so there is a continual cost there. And that is where I'm saying, like, I need to factor that into how I'm designing the product, because if the product's too heavily set up to too heavily hit those endpoints, it's going to keep hitting the AI API. If it's dependent on that, like that job board doesn't really function without the AI doing the scraping and the extracting part. I would have to do that. Then that product kind of comes to a halt, and I'm now dependent on Anthropic, and that's the difference, I think, there.
Exactly, and that goes, that's a whole nother dimension. Absolutely,
right. And you can design it in a way where you can, if you expect the prices to increase, design it in a way that has that assumption built into it, because then you can think around it maybe.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right. Well, we went pretty long here, Carrington.
Yep.
If you haven't already, check out this new YouTube channel that we are streaming on right now. It is, if I can pull it up. Nope. Let's see. Let's add. Boom. Not that one. Creator CTO. YouTube.com/@creator-CTO. It's where we're streaming right now. It's where you can find all my content around tech, AI, helping you build with AI, build tech products for your audience, for your brand, whatever it is. Carrington and I will be here every single Wednesday, 10:30 a.m., talking products, talking AI, talking answering questions that you might have about tech stuff. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for watching, Carrington. Thank you for joining today. It's good to see you.
Always, man. Always. Pleasure, man. Excellent time. Excellent discussion.
All right.
Yeah, drop your questions in the comments, hit us up on socials, all that good stuff.
What's your social handle? I forgot to put that in the description.
On Twitter, Carden, CarrDen, DENN. Sorry. Yeah.
You got it. All right. All right. We'll be back next Wednesday, 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. We'll see you there. Goodbye.
Later, guys. Peace.
And the stream.